welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. I'm so glad that you're joining me for these messages. It just brings me so much joy to read your cards. Speaking of, my calendar is now open for personal readings. The link for that is in the description below. Of course, anything you could ever want to know about this reading is going to be in the description below. And honestly, that's really all I have. I'm not even sure what decks we're going to be using yet. I just started getting that poking feeling last night to start putting out messages again. So that's what we're going to do. And this is probably the quickest intro I've ever done, but let's get into it.
Hello. Again. Right. Anyway, okay. So there's only 2 left. I'm just going to mix them up a couple times. I'm just going to pick one because when there's only 2, it's harder. Let's see. 6-3. It's funny because, well, for 2 reasons. It's funny because I think the last time I did these, 6-3, was the last of the human design profiles to go, but it's also the last of the human design profiles. Right? We start at 1-3 and we end at 6-3. So anyway, I think that's kind of funny. Okay. That's probably happening because we need an oracle card first. I know in the past, if you've seen any of these videos, I generally have a website or some sort of content, to give an overview of your profile. And I realized I didn't have that ready to go this time around. So then I went out searching for it. And there is a lot of great information out there, but there just really wasn't anything that was kind of hitting the spot. So I'm just kind of, trusting that it's not a big part of the message. But I do, of course, just want to touch on the 2 lines of your profile. So you have the 6th line on the conscious or the personality side. I don't know why that didn't sound right for a second. And the 6th line is the role model, and it has 3 stages. So from the time that you're born until the age of 28 to 30, around your Saturn return, basically, your life is lived as a 3-3. That 6th line acts as a 3rd line, and the 3rd line is all about trial and error. It's bumping up against life experiences, people, it's making and breaking bonds, all of that in an effort to gain wisdom through literal experience. And sometimes, most times, a good portion of the time, that may not be good experiences. They may not be feel-good experiences. You might have had a lot of chaotic energy or a lot of challenge, basically, during the first 30 years of your life. And then there's the 2nd stage after your Saturn return, and it's called going on the roof, which is basically just retreating a bit and becoming more of an observer. So you're taking those experiences that you've had during the first 30 years of your life, you're sifting through them, healing, deciding what stays, what goes, really kind of learning the lessons of those things, right? It's also the time in your life where you may be establishing security and foundation and deciding what that looks like for you. And then after about the age of 50-ish, you come off of the roof fully. That's where It's almost like, you become a role model by just living your life authentically. This profile is the one that has the potential for the most wisdom, the most guidance to offer, because you have that third line on the design side as well. So that third line is always going to be constantly trying to pull you down. Like you might get bored up on the roof and want to get your hands dirty in something and experiment and bump up against things, make and break bonds, right? So there's, kind of this dance that happens between the roof and the ladder. Like climbing up and down, the ladder. But you really are like a pillar of information, because you guys are the ones that have like literally almost tried everything. And you may even try anything once, right? Just because it's interesting and just because you want to see what happens. So then when you kind of really embody that role model, it's literally like coming from experience. Like something works or that it doesn't because you've tried it. We have affirmation for growth here. How very earthy. Springy too. I mean, we're about to have spring equinox on, is it Monday or Tuesday? I love that this cat is planting seeds back here. This definitely, like it has a Seven of Pentacles like vibe to it. Like, the seeds that you plant and the energy that you put into a thing has a potential to grow and be exactly what you want that thing to be. But it's a matter of actually planting those seeds. Like you have to plant the seeds in order for them to grow, right? But not only that, once you plant the seeds, you can't just, that is the exact number of cards that we need. You can't just not do anything with them ever again, right? I mean, you have to put in the time, the energy, the attention, the water, all of the things in order to get the plants to grow. I'm trying to decide like how to put these down. They came out face up. I feel like, okay. This is the way that I usually do it. Even if they come out this way, I still like flip them over and do it this way. I don't know why I was second guessing that. But I feel like because this card came out, we're going to start with that because I was literally just talking about it. Oh, what do we have under here? Oh my gosh. The Empress. Beautiful. Let me push these up a little bit, make sure that they're all in view here. I have to tell you, I feel like I kept kind of like hearing this thing in my head, that was saying the first way was right. Okay. I haven't even like fully had a chance to even look at these yet. So let's call it out. We have the Death card, the Chariot, Page of Swords, Six of Cups, Two of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, and the Empress at the bottom of the deck. I kind of just want to see if there's anything in here that affirmation for growth. Growth is necessary for life. Let me hold this up. The opposite of growth is stagnation, and no one wants to be stuck, sitting still and never moving forward. Growth takes effort, and sometimes it can be scary. It doesn't happen by itself. You have to nurture and feed it, whether it is body, spirit, or some part of your life, like career or relationship. What do you want to grow and prosper in your life? And what are you willing to do to make that happen? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what we talked about. Also too, all those things that we were talking about with the 6-3 profile, right? Sure, those things are gifts, but also it could be exhausting to constantly, because a lot of the third line process is failure. But, like if you look at failure as a negative, then, it becomes very pessimistic, right? Because if people are like, oh my gosh, here they go again, destroying something, right? Like that doesn't feel good, but if we're able to see that third line as like a gift, because like I said, right, like the gift in that is that you have the wisdom to know truly and fully how something works, because not only do you know how it works, you know how it works because you have discovered the ways in which it doesn't. And that's uncomfortable for a lot of people. And I think too, just conditioning, societal, blah, 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 like we see mistakes as being negative, and they're not. I know it's easy to say that. But, this does kind of have that vibe of somehow trying to hide from an inherent gift, because it's not being viewed as a gift and being viewed more as like a hindrance or an inconvenience or something. And I love that we start with the death card. I can see why I was being guided to put the death card first, because what a way to start, right? Like whatever is going on, there's an invitation, there's this recognition, like responding or initiating to this ending. And anytime a death card comes out, I say the phrase, every new beginning disguises itself as an end. That's the death card. It's not, a literal death, but it is something truly has to end in order for something else to begin. We have this door over here, this door here. This one is already either closed or the light is out. This one is already open. There's a light shining through it. So this is truly like one door closes so another can open, but it's already open. So it's like you don't even have to wait for that confirmation. And maybe there's some sort of area in your life where if you looked at it the right way, you would see this opportunity. And also this rope right here is literally hanging on by a thread. And it's either this figure can cut it, and it wouldn't even take that much literally to cut it with this sword, or if the tension on either side of this rope continues to be as it is, it's going to break itself. So it's either you can choose to be this one, to consciously make the decision to cut this thread, or it's going to happen for you. Either way though, it's like this is inevitable. It could be cutting ties to the past in some capacity, because the Six of Cups is the card of the past. It's nostalgia. It could be inner child work, if you've been doing a lot of inner child healing. This is also a card of acts of kindness, passing something along to somebody from a place of emotion, because cups have to do with our emotions, right? There's this flower pot. There's all these other flower pots too. So it's not like giving the whole kit and caboodle away. But this is the only red flowers. All these other ones, there's pink and then there's yellow. So there could just be something unique, something that's just not quite like the others, but in the same, arena. This figure is older, this person is younger. I mean, this could even be this transition from, if depending on where you're at in that sixth line journey, it could be transitioning from that first phase to the second. It could be transitioning from the second phase to the third. This whole process could even happen in the second phase because, like I said, right, part of the purpose of going up on the roof is to unpack the experiences, learn the lessons by observing. Very interesting. Also, even too, like, look at the similarities between these two cards. Right? Like, there's a pot with a plant in it. Granted, it's not like fully in bloom yet, but this one is. So there could even be something that was even given to you or established in you when you were younger. I mean, this could even be, again, something that you discovered when you were a kid, or something that interested you even. And then it's like, it now can develop into something. I mean, it doesn't have to do with like being a gardener, or, it doesn't specifically have to do with plants. But, like, it would just be something that, again, right? I mean, it interested you when you were a kid, and there's this opportunity now to grow into that, like plant the seed for that thing. These two things together, this could be a relationship. I mean, this could be soulmate type of vibe here. It doesn't have to be, but it's there. So I'm going to point it out. With the death card being here, I mean, that's Scorpio, this is Cancer, that's Taurus or Libra. Just pointing those out too. It doesn't have to be, but, like I said, if it's there, we're saying it. But with a death card being there, again, like there could even be some sort of, if it's a relationship, reconnection. When you see in the movies, like, let's start over, or, like, let's start from scratch, or, like, let me reintroduce myself type of thing. Or, of course, on the opposite end of that, it could be recognizing that the course of that relationship has concluded. And it's like you got what you needed to get out of that relationship. And the Chariot would be saying to move forward, because that is a Chariot. And in this card, it's literally like, and I think it even mentioned, being stuck or stagnant in that card of growth. Because we can see that this person here on the motorcycle is at this crossroads, this way or that way. And literally, either way is correct. There's no wrong answers here. However, it's like us that are standing in the way, right? It's like this is, like I said, it's a card of Cancer, so it's more water than it is air. But it is a lot of, like, our minds are the ones that get us stuck, because it's, all the what ifisms, what aboutisms. What if I make the wrong decision? What about this? What about that? But literally, both ways are correct. And either way is going to get you exactly where you want to go. They always do. Even if the experiences are a little different. And how could you even possibly know unless you try? And that's very third line. This could even, with it being paired with the Two of Cups, it could be deciding about a relationship. It could be even deciding to get back into dating if you haven't dated in a while. But the Two of Cups is about shared values. It doesn't have to strictly be romantic. It could be friendship. It could be business, like a business partnership. Both parties come in with their Ace of Cups, though. So both parties are coming in fulfilled, purposeful. They're taking care of their own needs to the point of feeling like they have the energy, they have the capacity to share that with somebody else. So again, they both have their own glasses. They're both equally full. So, there's this reciprocity thing going on. It's 50-50, not, 90-10, not 30-70. It's 50-50. Even this cat down here is offering a fish. So it's even like there could be mutual benefit on more than one level to whatever this is. And again, with it being cups, it would be that you feel good about the relationship that you have, about the relationships that you're building. This even feels like there could even be some sort of maturation within a relationship, and again, romantic, friendship, business. Because even, with it paired with or right next to the Six of Cups, and we have this young, figure in here, this could be this person grown up. It could be. Who is then this person grown up, right? I mean, like, they can all be the same. They can all be the same person. This, it even feels like full circle to a certain capacity, or it has the potential to have that full circle feeling if those seeds are planted. If you put in the time, the energy, the attention, the resources into the thing. And then we have the Page of Swords. Here's that mind stuff that I was talking about with the Chariot. Swords are about our mind, how we think. It's also our ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego, is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences. Generally in childhood, with it being like literally on the opposite end from the Six of Cups. But there's these books down here. They're clearly, what's the word? I lost the word. I want to say like excited, but that's not the word that I'm looking for. I honestly, I can't even, I can't think of the word. So I'm going to just stop even trying to locate the word that I'm looking for. But the Page of Swords, this is putting a new idea into practice. They still have the books here, right? So it's still like in this learning phase, but they're still putting those ideas, what they're learning, into practice. And that is the only way. Like I was saying with the Chariot, right? Like that's the only way to discover if it has weight or not. This also has that feeling of like a beginner mindset. There might be something that you need to learn, or just some additional knowledge available to you. This could even be information coming in, or like a new perspective being offered to you somehow. I even love how this cat is looking up. And then, like I said, we have the Seven of Pentacles. And I think it's so effing cool that it came out. And I was literally talking about it at the beginning. And I love that it's at the end. Because, and that's probably exactly why, again, that the Death card needed to be first. The Seven of Pentacles needed to be last. Because this is all of the things I've already said about the Seven of Pentacles, right? Like, this is putting that knowledge into practice, literally. Pentacles have to do with our money. It's our time, resources, and materials that are available to us. It's creating resources and materials. This is clearly a grape orchard. There's a wine glass here, a book, right? Like going back to the Page of Swords with their books. So again, it has this energy of allowing yourself to be in a beginner's mindset. This could even be documenting your findings, right? Like if you are going back into experiment mode, it could be writing down what works and what doesn't. This is also about recognizing when something is ready to be harvested, which could also take some trial and error process. But you have to plant the seeds first. And, obviously with us going into spring, like literally planting the seeds, like getting them started so that you can transplant them outside so that they grow larger. So then you can get to a place where you're harvesting literal fruit in order to transmute that or transform that into something like wine. It has this like temperance kind of vibe to it because, temperance is about patience and, taking the steps forward and the process of, alchemy and all of those things. And it's like literally up to you. We have the Empress card. I always see the Empress card as like expansion. She's pregnant. So again, like expanding family, expanding resources, expanding, it doesn't have to be literal reproduction. It can be if that's something that you're even interested in. But it's more about like reproducing opportunities, intimacy, intuition. There's fruit on these trees, right? I mean, like it's abundance, it's reproduction of abundance. This is also divine feminine. So all of the energies of divine feminine, it's not gender related, but being in the flow, intuition, receiving, beauty and comfort, because this is ruled by Venus. We have the Six of Pentacles, which is giving and receiving. Again, a little bit like this, but this is more about, with Pentacles, it's about money and resources. So it's like reciprocity. What you put out, you get back. This is also having enough to where you can share it with others, which again is very Two of Cups energy. There's also, it's like a no strings attached type of energy to this. It could be a grant coming in. It could be an investor. It could be some sort of unknown or unexpected gift. We have Judgment behind there. Amazing. Amazing. This is the transformation. This is marching to the beat of your own drum. It's authenticity, like true authenticity. This is like when it clicks. And then we have the Emperor. So it could be, again, I mean, this could be some sort of connection. It doesn't have to be, the divine, or the Emperor is the divine masculine. Again, the energy, not the gender. So it's about initiation, going for it. This is a card of Aries, giving. They're also confident. They're an authority figure. Page of Pentacles, Four of Wands, Ace of Swords, the Sun. Yeah, I mean, it's like all of this, possibility and expansion and all of the things, it's all available after this Death card. Beautiful. I'm leaving it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.